which I have 1,000 times. Accept responsibility, find out what your passion is, be motivated by that passion, and encourage a dialogue that will create change. And so this is the way, again, with this idea of abundance, it just keeps flowing. Julie and I are under the same umbrella organization, and Van Jones also with Green for All. And this organization, Julia raises the bar really, really high. I don't. I'm here. I'll sell out really quickly. But the organization forces me to have to keep the standards very high and be very committed to those standards, compromising even money and funding if it's going to mean compromising value. And I've learned a lot from this organization. I'm very grateful for their commitment to excellence and inspiring all of us not to compromise what we know in our hearts to be true just because easy money might come our way. I had to turn down so much money to put my foot up on a Chevrolet with a yoga mat. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I wanted to. And couldn't. But those are the choices that you make when you choose to be involved in spiritual activism, which is different than other kinds of activism. It has to be sustainable, not just physically, not just financially, but it has to be sustainable soulfully. Otherwise, we will be depleted and we will second guess what we know to be true.
Yes, I think we've seen in the world. Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Mark's going to wrap it up.
A little wrap up. The last 3 years, what we've all discovered is that the accumulation of money for its own sake doesn't work. It came crashing down, and we all got, everybody, including all the wealthy people, got much, much poorer and even destitute based on that scheme of things. Making money for its own sake doesn't work for the tricks of, clever deals and so forth. Making money through deals doesn't work. We all realize now, hopefully, in the world, that you've got to produce something that's of value to somebody else, that it's really got to nurture somebody else, and then sell it, right? And money is the basic flow. Money is energy. My guru used to say, money is love, so make money. Not for its own sake, but it is the exchange of energy, the exchange of goodness between us. So I don't mind doing this and making some money. Right? So I'm grateful. Thanks for paying me, Johnny. Really? And so we've got to make money. But I want to tell you, when I'm not traveling, I live in Fiji, in an island called Taveuni. And 3 months ago, the worst storm they've ever experienced in their lifetime came through. It was a dreadful hurricane. The whole island, including my property, got smashed. There's a great tree on one of our houses. And I've just gone there, just travelled from there to here, and we fixed it up. Now what I saw, these people have no money. All the people, they're not involved in this kind of economy where everybody works and makes quite a lot of money and built. And what I saw was this whole community restoring its village life, several villages in Taveuni, without the process of money, and all working and sharing and doing what they could to make sure their neighbours and each neighbouring village was surviving and okay. And it was just so beautiful to see this, So that's what we've got to do now, is find our life directions that serve somebody else usefully and make money. Not to be naive about money, because we need money for it's the nurturing force flowing. That's all. We know that the flow of money is the flow of nurturing, and get organized around it in that way, then it's all good. So may it keep flowing.
Please.
Okay, thanks.
One last final note.
So real quickly, because I know there's other things going on, I would like to invite all of you to have the opportunity to put this conversation into action right now, because there's no time like the present. And so I did a little research, because I love whenever I go anywhere to see where the good things are happening and how we can support it. And so there's two ways that I've kind of researched out, and I like to call money green energy, because where you plant it will grow. And so if we plant green energy, even if it's 50 cents, If we plant that green energy with mindfulness, that 50 cents is going to grow something. Think about the 450s we spend mindlessly on lattes and things, right? So like, really, the amount of a latte can change somebody's life in certain parts of the world. Something that we don't think about, we just want our tea or our coffee, can literally change somebody's life. And so I have two things. Number one is on the practical level. If you live in or around Chicago and you want to offer yoga as service to people who are incarcerated and are going to be released, there's an organization called the Safer Foundation. Their recidivism rate of people, which means the people who end up back in prison, who go through their process, is at about a 28 to 48%, depending on how long they go through the program, a 28 to 48% recidivism rate. In California, where I live, the recidivism rate is 96%, because we live in a system that's based on retribution instead of restoration. So if you would like to offer yoga, if you live in or around the Chicago area, Safer Foundation. If you don't live in or around Chicago area, I invite you if you're interested in offering yoga, to go into your community and see who those are most in need and offer yoga in service. I also encourage people to find organizations who are on the front lines doing the work and offer yoga as a donation to people who are doing the front line work. Help them become more healthy and balanced so that when they go do the work, they're coming from a healthier place, which means they make a healthier difference. And then on the green energy level, there's an organization that's here this weekend who's doing great work. It's called the Yoga for Freedom Project, and it's also the Nepal Orphans Home. And I'd like to invite you to contribute some green energy. So I have a little bag here, and I'm going to put some green energy in it. And then I invite you to put some green energy into it. And just so you know, let me tell you about Nepal. Actually, I should put green energy and start it, and then I'll start to tell you about it so that we're not here forever. But they're doing great work. They're working with children who are orphaned, who have been sold into the sex slave or the slave trade, and street children. And they're giving them a safe home. They're getting them off of the streets and out of violence into safety. Thank you. Lovely. Green energy is started. You'll just pass it around. And let me tell you where your contribution's going to go. $20 will feed a child for an entire month. $20 an entire month. $50 will cover their health expenses and medical supplies for an entire year. $50 making sure they're cared for an entire year. I can't believe it. I get goosebumps. Educational expenses for one child for 1 year, $150. Clothing and personal supplies for one child for 1 year, $200. Housing costs for one child for 1 year, $300. And it goes on from there. But that gives you kind of an idea of how a little bit can go a long way. If you didn't have green energy with you this afternoon, they're in the Yoga Bazaar area. Go check them out, talk to them. They're wonderful people. Offer them some green energy. Tell them thank you. And thank you for being willing to just participate.